Did you know that about 1 in 200 men alive today are direct descendants of Genghis Khan? It's a staggering fact, isn't it? This man, known far and wide as a ruthless conqueror, left behind a genetic legacy that still echoes in our modern world. His name sparks images of vast empires, grand conquests, and merciless warfare. But who exactly was Genghis Khan, and how did he create such a lasting legacy? Genghis Khan wasn't always the fearsome leader we know him as. Born under the name Temujin in the wide windswept plains of Mongolia, around the year 1162, his life began far from the glamour of power and conquest. Temujin's childhood was one of survival, a challenge like no other. The nomadic lifestyle of his tribe meant a life of constant movement, seeking pasture for their animals. His family didn't own vast lands or have a hoard of wealth. At a tender age, Temujin's father was poisoned by a rival tribe, and the young boy was thrust into the role of provider and protector of his family. Temujin's early life was not one of privilege, but one of constant struggle. Yet it was this struggle that forged his character, honed his leadership skills, and ignited a burning ambition within him. The harsh landscapes of Mongolia, the brutal realities of tribal warfare, and the desperate fight for survival were the crucibles that shaped Temujin. He emerged from these trials not just as a survivor, but as a leader, a strategist, and ultimately, a conqueror. These early experiences shaped Temujin into the man who would become Genghis Khan. From humble beginnings, Genghis Khan built an empire. He was not born into power, but rather, he seized it. His rise to power began in earnest when he united the Mongol tribes, a feat previously thought impossible. The Mongols, known for their fierce independence, were a scattering of tribes across the vast Eurasian steppe. Genghis Khan, with his charisma and military prowess, managed to bring them together under one banner. Uniting the Mongol tribes wasn't enough for Genghis Khan. He had a vision of a grand empire that stretched beyond the horizons of the Mongolian steppe. To achieve this, he knew he needed more than just a united front. He needed innovative military tactics and strategies. Genghis Khan was not a traditional military leader. He was an innovator and a disruptor. He developed a military strategy that was based on speed, surprise, and shock. His cavalry, known for their swift horseback riding, could strike with lightning speed and then disappear into the vast steppe, leaving their enemies confused and disoriented. His strategies also included psychological warfare. Genghis Khan knew the power of fear. His reputation for brutality preceded him, and often cities would surrender without a fight, fearing the wrath of the Mongol horde. But Genghis Khan was not just a military leader, he was also a statesman. He implemented a meritocracy, rewarding skill and loyalty over tribal allegiance or aristocratic birth. This was a revolutionary concept at the time and further solidified his hold on power. Genghis Khan's rise to power was built on his ability to innovate, to adapt, and to lead. He took a scattering of tribes and turned them into a force that would change the course of history. He became not just a Khan, but the Great Khan, the universal ruler. With these strategies, Genghis Khan was set to create the largest empire the world had ever seen. His rise to power was not just about conquest, but about redefining what was possible. It was about reimagining the world and leaving an indelible mark on history. At its peak, the Mongol Empire covered an astonishing 24 million square kilometers. Let's pause for a moment and just let that sink in. We're talking about an area larger than the entire continent of Africa, an empire that was twice the size of the Roman Empire and the Islamic Caliphate combined. That's the kind of territory we're dealing with under the rule of Genghis Khan. So how did one man manage to govern such a vast expanse? Well, one of Genghis Khan's key administrative strategies was the creation of an efficient postal system. Known as the Yam, this intricate network of horse riders and relay stations stretched across the empire, delivering messages and goods at an unprecedented speed. It was the internet of the 13th century, connecting disparate regions and facilitating swift communication. This wasn't the only thing that set Khan's empire apart. In a time when religious wars were the order of the day, the Mongol Empire was a beacon of religious tolerance. Genghis Khan, himself a follower of Tengrism, adopted a policy of religious freedom throughout his dominion. Whether you were a Christian, a Muslim, a Buddhist, or a shaman, you were free to practice your faith without fear of persecution under Khan's rule. But it wasn't all roses. The Mongol Empire was built on the back of devastating military campaigns that left cities razed and populations decimated. Yet within this paradox of brutal conquest and enlightened governance, the Mongol Empire thrived. Genghis Khan's empire was a complex machine, a blend of military might, administrative innovation, and cultural inclusivity. It was an empire that stretched from the steppes of Mongolia to the gates of Vienna, influencing societies and cultures along its path. Genghis Khan's empire was vast and diverse, but how did it impact the world we know today? To answer that, we'll need to delve deeper into the legacy left behind by the world's most successful conqueror. So, stick around as we continue our journey through the life and times of Genghis Khan. The legacy of Genghis Khan is as complex as the man himself. A warrior and ruler whose name still echoes through the corridors of history, he has left an indelible mark on our world. Genghis Khan's influence can be seen in many areas, but perhaps most prominently in the realm of cultural exchange. His Mongol empire, stretching across Asia, Europe, and Africa, became a melting pot of diverse customs, languages, and ideas. This fusion of cultures under the Mongol rule led to a significant exchange of knowledge and technology. Beyond trade and cultural exchange, Genghis Khan's rule also brought about more uniform laws and regulations across his empire. His yasa, a code of laws, brought a sense of order and justice, often absent in the chaotic world of the 13th century. However, the legacy of Genghis Khan is not without its dark side. His conquests were marked by widespread destruction and loss of life. Entire cities were razed, civilizations extinguished, and millions of lives lost in his relentless pursuit of power. From the steppes of Mongolia, Genghis Khan forged an empire that shaped the course of history. His influence touched every corner of the known world, transforming societies, economies, and cultures. His story, filled with triumphs and tragedies, serves as a potent reminder of the power of ambition and the enduring impact of one man's vision. And so, Genghis Khan's legacy continues to shape our world, centuries after his death. His tale, a testament to the human spirit's indomitable will, continues to captivate us, reminding us of the heights we can reach and the depths we can plummet. The story of Genghis Khan, a tale of power, ambition, and legacy, is very much the story of humanity itself. Genghis Khan, a ruthless conqueror, or a visionary leader? In the past 10 minutes, we've journeyed through his life and legacy, starting from his humble beginnings to the rise of the Mongol Empire under his rule. We've examined how his strategies and policies shaped the world we know today. Born into a world of constant conflict, Genghis Khan rose from obscurity to become the leader of the largest contiguous empire in history, a feat that has left many in awe. His military strategies were revolutionary, his laws progressive for the time. He connected the East and the West, opening trade routes and cultural exchanges that would shape the future of humanity. Yet we must not gloss over the bloodshed and devastation that trailed in his wake. His conquests were brutal, the body count staggering, cities razed to the ground. His name left fear in the hearts of many, and the scars of his campaigns are still visible in parts of the world today. So, how do we reconcile these contrasting elements of his legacy? How do we judge a man who lived in a time so different from our own, by standards that have evolved over centuries since? There is no simple answer to these questions. History, after all, is not a collection of clear-cut truths, but a tapestry of perspectives. And Genghis Khan, like many figures in history, is a complex character who defies easy categorization. Some see him as a ruthless conqueror, a symbol of destruction and terror. Others view him as a visionary leader, an agent of change who brought about a new era of global connectivity. As we delve deeper into the past, we encourage you to form your own opinion. Digest the facts, consider the context, and weigh the impact. As we continue to study his life and legacy, one thing remains clear: Genghis Khan left an indelible mark on human history. Before we end, remember to hit the like button if you found this video interesting and subscribe for more fascinating history content. Until next time, keep exploring the past to understand our present.